to leave a country where you're born, coming over here.
Statutory instrument to change the categories around the visa statuses of workers, skilled workers, where we need and where we don't. By using a statutory instrument, there was absolutely no parliamentary debate whatsoever. Right now there's a migration advisory committee that doesn't deliver its recommendations and guidance until next year. So this decision was taken at breakneck speed, clearly to try to lean in to some of the difficult and divisive arguments we're hearing around the question of migration in Britain at the minute.
And I'm here to show solidarity with those caught in arbitrary changes to our immigration system, to stand with them as Londoners, to stand with them as union members and as valued transport workers, helping our city move every day. And as the Labour movement, we believe in fairness, and we believe we must not shrink from that. If we lose our sense of fairness, we have nothing. We should believe in honouring our commitments and our words to those who have come here to live. So now is not the time to shrink from making the case for the case that people who migrate to live here in the UK and in London are our colleagues, our neighbours and our friends. We need to reject the rhetoric which dehumanises and creates false division.
Workers frog marched off the shop floor in job centres.
So I'm Eddie Dempsey, I'm the General Secretary of the RMT Union. We represent workers in the transport industry, at sea, in the oil and gas industry and elsewhere. We've got 63 members who work for London Underground who are going to be deported if they don't leave the country in November, following a decision taken by the Home Secretary to change the categories of skilled worker. So people seeking to obtain a skilled worker visa would have been able to obtain that visa for some of the jobs that are in London Underground presently. Now they can't. The reason why we think this is unfair is because these workers came here on student visas. You've got the right to work for 2 years. But in London Underground, they are sponsors. They've got a licence to sponsor workers who come in on a student visa to migrate across to a skilled worker visa and remain in Britain. So they've given these people permanent contracts of employment. They're not on temporary working contracts. These people had a clear expectation they were going to be able to remain here in Britain. They've built their lives here, they've taken out mortgages, starting families, all of that. And now, from start to finish in 3 weeks, there's been a decision taken which means they're going to have to leave the country. So we're calling on the Secretary of State, the Home Secretary and the Minister to pause this. There's a Migration Advisory Committee in Parliament. They've not even given their guidance yet to the Secretary of State for what she should be doing around skilled worker visas. The Home Secretary's simply taken this decision to try and pander to some of the rhetoric we're hearing around migration coming from the right. That's not a serious way to do politics, it's not a serious way to plan our labour force and our economy. So we're saying this has got to be paused, there's got to be transitional arrangements considered, so people like our members who are given a clear expectation that they've got an indefinite right to remain can be treated fairly. We're not saying there should be open borders. We think there should be a fair migration system that treats people humanely, that's got serious consideration for how we deliver a workforce plan for Britain. But this isn't fair. This is completely wrong. You tell people you've got the right to remain, and then in 3 weeks you say you've got to leave. Never mind that you've built your life here now with a full expectation you're intending to stay here for years and years to come. So we're exploring first of all any legal route we might have to challenge this decision, which will take some time. I'm seeking a meeting with the Minister responsible for these decisions in Parliament. They've written back to us saying they're considering meeting us, which I've got to say is a bit bizarre. Usually people say to us yes or no, but in this case they've sent us a letter saying maybe, which makes no sense at all. It's a complete waste of paper. I wasted 5 minutes of my time reading it, frankly. So I want a meeting with the Minister. I want to sit down with the Minister and explain what she's got to do to look after my people. And that is have a transitional arrangement that protects our members. They're not people that took temporary contracts. They got a clear expectation to remain, and that should be upheld. No, so we're going to carry on our campaign. We'll have to see what happens next. There's been a change, a reshuffle. We've got a new Home Secretary now. Whether or not that leads to a different tone from the Home Office, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. She's only been in post a few days, but we'll be writing to her as well to see whether she intends to carry on this position from Yvette Cooper. and we'll continue to represent our members. That's what we do.